and we're ready for day 4 of the New Testament by Pentecost challenge. Today we read the second part of 1 Corinthians. Yesterday we noted that Paul most likely wrote this letter around 53 or 54 AD from Ephesus, and he writes to a divided church in a diverse urban hub. As you read, notice how the concerns of this early church are very similar to our own challenges in this time and place. Paul's statements and standards may or may not apply as eternal rules, but his wrestling with and shaping these early communities certainly apply as we wrestle to learn what discipleship is in our day. Some key insights to think about. In the second part of the letter, Paul writes beautifully about spiritual gifts, love, and the resurrection. In chapter 8, Paul sets a high but not absolute standard about eating meat that had been sacrificed to idols. Now that's not a huge concern in our day and time. We wrestle over other things, but at the time it was a major concern. On the one hand, Paul says such concerns can be dismissed since the idols aren't real. We know there's only one God, so whatever the pagans have done doesn't matter. But on the other hand, the effect on one's neighbor must be considered. If your eating meat causes your neighbor to stumble, well, then you shouldn't eat meat. It's a relational standard, not an absolute. Note how this same reasoning, subject to Scripture and informed by tradition and experience and reason, plays out in other discussions. The big picture for this letter, Paul emphasizes that we are in this together. Note how individual spiritual gifts are given for the good of the larger body, the church. While Paul teaches on many subjects here, the letter returns again and again to communal, relational themes. This emphasis makes declaring absolutes difficult, but Paul certainly doesn't think that anything goes. One of the aspects of being United Methodist that I appreciate is our emphasis on connectionalism and commitment to ecumenical ministry and interfaith cooperation. Like Paul, we seek to live in the tensions of faith, running the race to the best of our God-given ability. Blessings on your reading.